So,
Story.
Marshall House built in 1851. It's an inn. Mary Marshall, she built it. It's French. Her father was from France. He was a builder. She inherited everything, and that was her. That was her grand. Whatever. I'm not looking at the term. Long story short, 1851. It's open. 1864. Sherman occupies Savannah, turns the inn into a field hospital. So that, of course, at that time, gangrene. They don't know anything about infections or bacteria or things like that. So if you get an open wound, there's a good chance that you're going to have an amputation. It's on a limb, right?
Yeah.
So that's where they were doing it in 1864. There was a field hospital, and there was literally 64,000 troops that Sherman had that were occupying Savannah and around it. So So, and they were also sleeping up here in the cemetery. Every single headstone in the cemetery was kicked over, so none of them are in their original spot. This is the oldest cemetery in Georgia.
And then you said that are changing like the changing like the dates and stuff.
It's like some guys died when they're like 1,400 something years old. You know,
like why would you even do that, man?
They're 16 and they've been murdering.
I've
been killing shit for the last 3 years. I'm 16.
I'm kind of bored.
I'm sitting here for 6 weeks. I'm gonna fuck some shit up. That's I mean, you and I would do the same thing, to be honest. Might be older than 14 if it were us.
But you probably gonna fuck some shit up. You got blood on your hands. You gonna fuck some shit up.
That dude was probably gonna be like dead. I just write present. You know? Right now. But anyway, so the Marshall House, 1864. It was
this tour is crazy. This tour is. Hey, Jacob, what the fuck you got me in? What you got? Wait. What you got me in, brother?
Yeah,
you just gonna walk in the cemetery, just casually walk into a cemetery, and I'm following you. I'm following you, and he's just weighing you in. This is crazy. Emergency call number. Here we go. Somebody check that.
In case we don't make it out. All right, so the Marshall House. All right, so.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, we'll make it back to my place for it.
You think?
So the Marshall House, it's a field hospital. It goes back to being a hotel. 1957 is when they started doing the fire codes in buildings. So so they shut the building down because there wasn't enough money bought. So it stays vacant from 1957 to 1999. 1999, a hotel company comes in, buys it, is doing the renovation. You can imagine some high school kid there on a summer job doing a demo work, and he pulls out, and there are literally 3 different pockets of dozens of discarded limbs underneath the floorboards. Literally, they were just taking the limbs, putting them in the floor, covering them back up. Probably the rat stripped them down over time. And so they left them there. The thing is they didn't know it was a field hospital. They thought they had walked into a psychopath who was sitting there just dismembering people. So the FBI forensics units come.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And they have to realize, wait a minute, these have been here for a really long time. And they actually look back and they're like, wait, this was a field hospital. Oh, it's a field hospital. They actually had to do. Could you imagine that 17-year-old who's working for his dad over the summer? He's like, yeah, get on in there, kid. Get dirty. You learn a good, honest day's work. Dad, there's limbs in here.
Traumatized for life.
So this right here, this is Button Gwinnett. He's one of the signers of the Declaration.
Really?
Yeah, he was the representative of Georgia to the Continental Congress, one of the 13 representatiors. He was actually killed in a duel by another signer of the Declaration of Independence, Lachlan McIntosh. He's buried right over there. It's just right behind the
Where?
tree.
Oh,
It's
the bricks?
right
Or
up against the fence.
Oh.
It's a big one, yeah.
Oh, a big one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see that one? Yeah, it's a brick one. Yeah, and it's got that curve on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Why am I leaning? I want to lean up here. Boy.
You remind me of that little girl on the suntan lotion. He's like,
Yeah.
Chris, should we pop in the cathedral?
yeah, we can.
Yeah.
You can.
We're gonna see this place.
His name was Lachlan McIntosh. They had a duel because they,
So they did
publicly, insulted each other, called each other scoundrels. Because back then, that was about the worst thing you could call somebody. And they killed each other. And now, Lachlan.
Wait a minute. Let's back up.
So
That's
the
the worst thing that white man can say to a white man. How about that?
Scoundrel.
Okay,
You're a scoundrel. You're a scoundrel. yeah. And then I'm gonna take my white glove off and slap you in the face.
And
with
slap
it.
you.
because I go everywhere with my white gloves as a white man. Just driving gloves.
Get Slap City.
Actually, I was like, where the fuck did they call that the glove compartment? I was like, God damn it, did people used to have driving gloves?
Yeah.
And I actually went through, I was like, I think that's the fucking reason why that thing's called the glove
Captain
compartment.
Captain Obvious.
I just never considered it. I was like, I actually thought like last week, I was like, motherfucker, is that what they call it? That it actually went through my mind.
I never knew.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
You know how like those like you think social media is dumb, but then like they have like the things that you didn't know.
Yeah.
I was this years old whenever this was that.
Yeah. So
Oh, they're against the wall?
Against the wall.
Yeah.
They're all kicked over, so that's why they're all posted up over there now. There's like 12,000 people buried in here. There's like 300 headstones sitting.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, and actually the original cemetery was paved over, so it actually goes the road here, and actually the original cemetery goes over here to where the fire station is. So again, it's just built on top of dead people. It's kind of the common theme around here.
But you had no choice though.
Oh, I got one for you. Here's a fucked up one for you. Okay, so right back to where that entrance in the cemetery is.
Yeah.
There's a mass burial site. Y'all have ever heard of yellow fever?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is typically when my friend goes, "Yeah, I love Asian girls." No, not that one.
That was. I'm 41 years old. You know, I had
Past.
I had my face. I had my face.
Yellow fever's definitely a 20s thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely. Anyways, yellow fever. The reason it happened is Savannah. Was a rice plantation right outside the city, and this is obviously very swampy here. Yellow fever was passed by mosquitoes, right? Similar to malaria, but not exactly the same. Of course, why were people from Africa enslaved?
What the hell is that?
Oh, that's just somebody trying to get laid.
What, that exhaust?
Yeah, dude. Why does a guy do anything?
A car?
What? That's on purpose?
Why does a man do anything?
That's ridiculous. That sounds horrible.
It's either money or women. It's one of the two.
Why does woman? Do you like that?
She doesn't have to.
I would go for it.
She hasn't gotten that low in life.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
All right, continue with your story.
So, one of the things is obviously the demographics in Savannah at that point are white and black. The black population is really not affected by yellow fever. The reason Africans were enslaved like anybody else is because they had a natural immunity to malaria. Malaria has actually killed more people than any other disease. 70 fucking X over any other disease. Malaria.
Really?
7 people from like literally. So you know when like the Europeans would go there and they'd get the slaves from Ghana or wherever it was. They never actually They couldn't go on shore because it wasn't. What was it? 1890s is when the cure for malaria was invented. What's it called? You can look it up real quick. Anyways, so the 1890s is when the Europeans started colonizing Africa because they could actually set foot on Africa. But before that, they would just immediately die of malaria. This is why Indians had been enslaved before. Africans have been enslaved before. White people have been enslaved before. Latins, everyone had been enslaved, but black people had the best immunity. That's why they were the ones who were actually continuing.
I've actually heard that.
Yeah.
The resistance.
Yeah, because of the resistance. That was the number one thing that was killing everybody, and that was the one thing that would not kill people from Africa. They just had it.
That's nutty.
So that was the biggest reason.
You know that?
Yeah. Well, especially West Africans, because
you could work for
are
him.
the biggest and strongest tribal people. I mean, where do you think LeBron came from? It's not the same as Ethiopia, right? So West Africans are genetically kind of like Samoans. They're just bigger and stronger, right? So that's primarily why it all focused in on Western Africa. Size, strength, and also immunity. Big one. So it was the non-enslaved population that was dying here. Here's the crazy shit though. So the city of Savannah, it was something like the 20th biggest city. No, it was like the 12th biggest city before. All right, so the numbers were 5,000 people in 1820. By 1821, we had lost approximately half of the population. Just had left the city, and there was a curfew on the city, and people were just leaving in the middle of the night to go to Augusta and places because so many people were dying. It was because the mosquito was biting them. Their skin would turn yellow, their eyes would turn red. Their eyes would turn yellow. They had that yellow tint in the back of them. That's where your kidneys are failing, right? Or your liver's failing, and this would attack the body. The quoted number out of 5,000 people who died officially of the disease that year, it was a really fucked up number. 666 people died in the year. The 666. So that's like this. And also 1820 is the same year you had the fire that burned down 30 or 70% of the city. It's also the same year you had a hurricane that hit. So you had the trifecta that year. In 2020, we had COVID. It was kind of an interesting one doing tours at that point. You're like, yeah, every 100 years, some fuck, because it 1919.
Every 100 years, something fucked up happens.
1919 is when the Spanish flu hit. And the Spanish flu was the last great pandemic. So it's every 100 years some fuckery takes place. Dude. Every 100 years some massive fuckery happens. I guarantee Olivia's just watching